Hello everyone, it's your boy Terrence here with Hollywood Already Did It, and today I'm going to talk to you about the fall 2019 dramas from the networks, and we'll get into it right after the jump. A little housekeeping before we get started. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like, share, subscribe to the channel with all your friends, ring that bell below. Anytime we have something, you'll be the first to know about it. First 100 people that we get in here, I'll start doing a little contest, give away some stuff, all right? Once we get to 500, I'll do a whole little thing with that too. And the first 500 people that subscribe to the channel will be the founders of the channel. Now, I'll do something special for those guys, all right? Let's get on to the shows. So yesterday I talked all about the comedies from the networks. Today I'm going to talk about the dramas. There are going to be a couple that I'm missing. Anything that's on the CW, like Batwoman or Nancy Drew, I have not watched. Well, I've seen Batwoman, but I haven't seen enough episodes to kind of give how I feel about it. Plus, you kind of know what you're getting with those Berlanti Arrowverse shows. And Nancy Drew, I just haven't gotten a chance to watch. That one started late, and so I haven't gotten there yet. But I will be talking about the rest of the lot. Also, I have already been told that my one from yesterday about the comedies with Sunnyside, Sunnyside's already been pulled. It's the one comedy that I like, but it's the one that's already been yanked thanks to a follower to the channel that I've already been informed that it has been pulled. It is going to be aired, the rest of their episodes, on Hulu, but such is my life, the shows that I want always get yanked. I was a fan of Pitch. Pitch is gone, so I mean, it is what it is, but I will finish that off, and it makes my time a little bit more free. I have some free time now to do some other stuff with that show being gone. But let's get on to the dramas for 2019. So the dramas that we're talking about today are Prodigal Son on Fox, All Rise on CBS, Stumptown on ABC, Bluff City Law on NBC, Almost Family on Fox, Evil on CBS, and Emergence on ABC. So there's only one of these that I'm just outright not a fan of. And so the one that I'm already done with is Bluff City Law. Procedurals, here's the thing with dramas. All procedurals, basically, the DNA of them all feel the same. So the point of procedurals essentially is to say, what can you do differently that I haven't seen, that, or are there characters that I can invest in that I like enough to continue onto this road with whatever it is you're giving me? Bluff City Law, unfortunately, does neither of those. It's a very by-the-books law show with characters that I don't care about. Jimmy Smith's character is fine, and Jimmy Smith is a fine actor. This is a show where they are basing it on the likability or how I feel and respond to the Jimmy Smith's daughter, and I don't like her. Not saying I don't like the actress, she's doing a fine job. Her character does not benefit me watching from day to day, from week to week. And so Bluff City Law for me is the one that I just have no desire to. However, unlike with my comedy ones, I have seen that Bluff City Law has already also been pulled from the network. I don't know if they're finishing all their episodes on air yet or not, but I do know that their first 10, they did not get an order for a back order. So their first 10 is what's going to be aired, and they're not doing anything after that. So apparently I was not alone in my dislike for Bluff City Law. I just think in a world where we have so many law shows, where law, the three shows that always come about are Law, Cop, or Hospital. Those are what the procedurals are. Sometimes they blend them together like Law and Order does, but when you have so many of those shows, you have to do something above and beyond to resonate, and Bluff City Law just doesn't do it. So that's done for me. Then I have a bunch of shows that I am going to continue watching for a couple episodes, but they don't quite have me hooked. One of them is Emergence on ABC, which reminds me a lot of Lost, but with one singular girl. Kind of, basically, if you haven't seen the previews, there's a girl who comes from some off-site situation. Lights in the entire city go out, and a cop finds her and kind of takes her in to keep her away from these mysterious people that are trying to take her back in. I like shows like that, and I dig the first couple of episodes. This isn't a matter of me not liking the show. I have a feeling that this show may be stretching itself so thin that there are going to be a lot of filler episodes to the point where I'm watching to watch just the button at the end to bridge me to the next show. And sometimes I need you to, every now and then, I can't go 4 or 5 episodes without you giving me something to grasp on more than just like, oh, something's mysterious. Come back next week to see something else more mysterious, and then we'll get even more mysterious. You got to give me some meat on the bones. And I don't, I've watched 3 episodes. I haven't gotten anything yet. And that's my fear. And that's why it's starting to get towards the, I'm just done with the show. Because you can only take me so long with just giving me breadcrumbs before you got to at least give me a piece of bread, at least a corner, a remnant of the bread. The drip breadcrumbs only last for so long. So Emergence is on that bubble of it's in my, I'm still going to be on here for a couple more, but if I don't get anything by the next 2 or 3 episodes, it's going to be gone. The other show that I am a little on the fence of is Almost Family, not because I think it's going bad. I just have only seen 1 episode because it started later than the rest of the shows for the fall season. Started a week or 2 behind. So I've only seen 1 episode. There's another one on the DVR. I just haven't watched it yet. But I did enjoy the episode. And it's, if you don't know, it's about a father who had this clinic to impregnate women. He was the sperm, like he had a sperm lab, and he was very successful, had a very high success rate of getting women who were, for whatever reason, not able to get pregnant, but did so apparently by using his own sperm. And so the lead young lady is finding out that while she thought her dad was one of the greatest people on earth, helping all these wonderful women, in a way, he was also duping them, and she has way more family than she originally thought. I like the lead. I'm a friend of Pitch Perfect, so seeing Brittany on here works for me. I think she's good, and I like seeing the other 2 leads as well with them. There seems to be, it's weird because it seems to be going very daytime soap opera-ish, and I don't mind that. With the nighttime show, like sort of like Nashville or like Empire, where, oh, this person's a sister, and then this sister is in a relationship with somebody, and they're half lesbian, so they may not try to be, or bisexual, and they don't want to be in the relationship with this person, and then this, and they used to love each other back in the day. So while the premise is basically that through line, it seems like there's a lot of other things that are adding on, and just by watching the clips from what's going to happen in the next episode, I'm not sure if that's what I want from this show. I like the concept, and I like the cast a lot. I just don't know. I'll have to, again, I've only seen 1, so this is this is the only show out of all of the ones that I'm talking about where I've only seen 1 episode, where I can't quite pinpoint if I'm in or not, and that usually happens with pilots. I like what they've done, but I need to see about 2 or 3 episodes to give you an honest to goodness answer. So it's not on my locked in spot, and it's not on my bomb, like I'm done with it spot, but I'll give it a couple more episodes. I might do something back later in a couple of weeks to kind of see where I stand with Almost Family after a while. The other show that I'm having a hard time placing how I feel about it is Stumptown. Because it's a procedural in itself, it's almost like a Janet Ivanovich type of book, which my wife loves and I dig. I like Colby, I like Michael Ealy, and I like Jake Johnson. So the cast is perfect. I just don't know the tone. It seems more drama. I mean, it seems almost like offbeat comedy and drama. It's more like an Elmore Leonard type of book where there's weird characters doing this and she's in over her head and she's kind of a down on luck. She's not really that likable of a person. It's my type of show that I'll dig into, but the first 2 episodes, nothing really stuck out for me that I was like, oh, I want to watch this show. Like, it's on my DVR. They're building up. But like I said in my comedy one, if I get enough DVR, if I get enough episodes on my DVR, and I'm not actively, when I'm searching through my DVR, trying to push them to watch, that means something within that series didn't click enough for me to be like, oh, I need to watch what happens next. I need to see what happens next. And this one isn't any disservice to anybody here on the cast. It's just something wasn't clicking. But I'm going to stick with this one. This one's still on my bubble, and I'll stick with it for a couple more weeks to see where it lands. So this one in Almost Family, we'll repeat. We'll circle back to see how I feel about those. And the last one that's on the fence for me is Prodigal Son on Fox. This is closest to being a lock as you can get without being. The only reason it's not is because it's a very by the book procedural. to the point, sort of like Hannibal a little bit, where unless the B story that underlines and goes through the entire season picks up a little bit, I'm like, okay, I'm just watching a well done and well executed procedural cop show from day to day, but with the Hannibal or the mind twist of a son who is the son of a well-known serial killer who also has his own tics and things that he has to go through. A very eccentric person go through this with him, and that isn't enough to get me excited. Like, I need to see something else going on. Michael Sheen's great. It's well cast. I think I want to watch this cast, and it's super violent and gory. And so, but it feels like a darker version of Castle, or one of those, or that whatever the magician show that got canceled pretty quick on ABC, where you take somebody who doesn't normally work with the cops and then put them with the cops, and then that's the show. I need something else to kind of latch on to, or I need to do it in a slightly different way. Like, I think this and another show that I'll talk about in just a second, they're not that far apart from each other. I just think the other show does it slightly better, for me. So those are the shows that are on the bubble, for me, that I will continue to kind of go through. Like I said, dramas are a little harder for me I can easily get on and off of our comedy dramas. Some things may work, some things may not. And for this year so far, Bluff City Law is the only one that just actively did not work for me. What I do love and what I'm locked into, one of them is, there was no way for this not to be on here, is All Rise with Simone Missick. Full disclosure, I went to high school with Simone. She was a 1999 classmate of mine back in Detroit. So I'm actively watching this show. I actually think the show is really good as well. There aren't any court shows that deal with the judges. And CBS somehow had, which is surprising to me, no court shows on their docket whatsoever. But you now have a law show or court show from a judge, and to have it up as a black woman. And I think it's a really well done show. There are some things where it gets a little quirky, almost David E. Kelly-ish. Not practice David E. Kelly, but more Boston Legal David E. Kelly, or a blend between the two, because it doesn't get as wonky as Boston Legal did with Denny, and like, it doesn't get that nuts, but more like the last season of Practice, once James Spader was on there. That's what it feels like. Some things are a little too off the wall and heightened, and some things are super realistic. But it's a good blend. I think Simone's killing it. And I'm excited to continue to watch that show. That's a show that my wife and I, we sit down, we watch, and like, yes, this is what I want to see today. So All Rise is definitely on my list of this is locked in. And I think I've seen the demo. I've seen the demos for this. The ratings aren't that high in the 18-49, which is the hard group that you kind of need to have. But CBS also doesn't have many shows that cater towards an ethnic market. So they may hopefully have a longer leash, because this is the first year where they're kind of seemingly actively going after a black marketplace on CBS. And then the last show that I did not think that I would like at all, because one, I'm not that heavy into spirituality, like religion. Evil is fantastic. It fits into the world of being procedural as well. But unlike Prodigal Son, it feels like it's telling its through line story a little bit better and giving me more information in pieces than Prodigal Son is. It doesn't feel as flashy and on the nose sometimes as Prodigal Son does. But I love the slow burn. I love is it religion or is it not? I don't know, because somebody who is not 100% into religion, it's great to have a show that plays both sides, to saying somebody who is into religion or within the priesthood, and to somebody who is not, and then somebody who act there as a team, as a unit. They are actively set out to go to these miracles or go to these to be for unforeseen things, and kind of say, is this an evil spirit, or is this because the faucet was broken and you heard a weird whisper and it was just in your head. That fascinates me, and I think, funny enough, I think Mike Holder does a much better job on this show than he ever did as Luke Cage. I think he physically looked like Luke Cage, but he is phenomenal. He's really good in this show. I don't know the lead actress's name. My apologies. She's great as well. I like this cast as a whole. As a whole, this was the show that on the CBS when I said I had to watch, and I just burned through 3 episodes. I'm in love with the show. I did not think I would like this show, but for somehow CBS went from me not having anything that I watched on their network to now I have 2 shows that are locked in that I hope stick around for quite some time. So those are the dramas for 2019 for the networks. Just to recap, Bluff City Law, which I absolutely did not like, and it looks like apparently nor did anyone else, as it's only gotten 10 episode order and it's going to be yanked from the schedule as the sunny side. That one I'm sad about. Then my ones in the middle that I'm not quite sure on, more on the lower side of the middle, would be Emergence, just because I need to have a little bit more to keep me on hook. Stumptown, just because I'm not exactly sure what the show is. It's weird. I like weird. I'm just not sure what I'm supposed to be getting out of that show. And then Almost Family, just because I have not seen enough episodes. I like the first episode, but it does seem like it's veering more towards camp soap opera as opposed to drama, which the trailer made it seem like it would be. And then Prodigal Son. Prodigal Son's on the higher end. I just don't know. If I'm picking between Evil and Prodigal Son, which they're very similar, Evil wins out for Prodigal Son. And then the ones that I love are Evil and All Rise. What are those shows that you like for the dramas of 2019 on the networks? Granted, like I said, I've not seen, or I'm not talking about Batwoman, which I'm going to watch because I like the Arrowverse stuff, and Nancy Drew I have not seen yet. But what of the dramas that have started so far for 2019 do you like? Which ones don't you like? Which ones do you think should get the axe along with Bluff City Law? Go ahead and leave your comments in the comments below. If you haven't already, you can listen to our podcast on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere that plays podcasts. If you want to reach out to us, you can hit us up on email at hollywoodalreadydidit@gmail.com, or you can find us on Twitter at HollywoodADI. And like always, I got my ticket. You got yours?